grimmest period of World War II. The small island of Malta in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea had become a beacon of hope for Allied forces. Hitler had to act.
I'm looking forward to this, Jamie. So you've got your kits already. So like you said, go ahead and get started if you'd like, and just do whatever, I'll catch up when I get a chance here. Like I said, I should have something soon. And then in terms of like how this could, like, actually hit the record button before we start.
I saw I got a little message and I thought, well, better not swear. Yeah.
So when, I'll just archive this kind of stuff for the time being, put it in a folder, and then, and you'll record your own stuff. I'll record my own stuff. But, I could see this being, a multi-series, a multi-episode series between the two of us, where I'll show some stuff. And then if you could send me some of your video and I'll do the vice versa, we can kind of start. Yeah. I'm doing this with Rick and I'm doing this with Jamie, and have a little bit of this conversation. I'll send these to you as well. And you can take whatever part of this you might want, just as us chatting it up. And especially as we get, I feel like, especially as we get into the builds, we could have a few of these talking about specific issues that we're having or ideas that we're having or showing off or whatever the case may be. And those would be fun interplays to add into these as well.
Yeah, and absolutely.
Somehow put it all together at the end and maybe arrange a premiere date between both our channels at the same time.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I think it would be a lot of fun.
Yeah. I normally use the instructions as a placement guide and kind of make up my own way of putting things together, which has got me into a little bit of trouble every now and again, once or twice.
My experience in building the few aircraft that I have is that I don't have a broad base of experience building those. So say compared to armor, I know how I could skip ahead and not get myself into trouble because I know what to expect and how things will go together in the end. And the few times I've kind of worked with the aircraft, it may seem like, oh, this would make more sense if I do it now, but then I find myself that I've backed myself into a corner because something actually really did need to fit with something else first. Now, so in the last video that you did, well, at least the one I was watching, you were doing paint maps. Are you going to, for like the roundels and stuff, are you going to do that again?
Yeah, I'm going to do that again.
Oh, you son of a bitch. You keep upping the ante.
Quite regularly, I've painted the markings on because I just think it just gives a much better result because, especially on something like an Edward kit where you've got all the rivets there, you put a decal down and it just means you have to be so fastidious by putting that decal down and getting it to suck in to all those rivets to get that painted on look.
A special thank you to all my amazing Patreon members for your incredible support. Your contributions help me continue to create content for this channel. If you're not already a member, I invite you to join our Patreon community. As a member, you'll gain access to exclusive behind-the-scenes content, early releases, and more. I hope you'll consider joining Patreon and supporting this channel. Thank you very much.
What I figured we talked about, like what markings or what schemes we might be working on. I'll probably just wait till the kit shows up. I think that box has 15 different designs between the two crafts, something like that.
Loads of them. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll just find something that looks attractive.
This book, the one where I sent you the pictures of the revetments and things from, is an absolute goldmine of photographs and information. They do this sort of thing where they'll have the photographs and then their interpretation of what it might look like in a profile form,
Nice.
which is brilliant. But it's also got, which is what I'm going to use, is every delivery, because delivering obviously Spitfires to Malta was a bit tricky. So pretty much all of them were launched off carriers in batches, and they're all given different operational names. And the camouflages and the repaints kind of evolved with each iteration. So at the back, there's tables and tables of all every single aeroplane that went to, and it gives you the serial number, obviously the batch it was from, but also the markings, if it had them, because not all of them had code letters and things. But also it tells you what happened to the airframe in the end. So I don't know if you've seen my Hurricane series that I did, my Desert Hurricane. The final episode in that, where I show in detail how I sprayed the markings and then how I weathered the aeroplane. No pigments on that one, actually. It's all oils. That might give you a few sort of aeroplane specifics.
That's the one I was watching. That was the one I was watching. I think I watched the last 3 episodes or so as he finished up, started painting. And I also went back and looked at maybe your last episode you dropped that you weren't building. You were just kind of talking about pre-shading and post-shading and things like that you also referenced in the videos. So, I've been picking your brain. And I was just going to be so much fun. I was telling some people about it. I'm going like, I've known Jamie for how long we've been working together on the magazines and stuff. It's like forever. 10, 12, 15 years. I don't know what it's been. But we've never spoken, obviously. But I was saying, like, he's and I mentioned your name and go, like, oh, really? Yeah, I know of him. Even if they're not even aircraft builders, because your work is just out there and so well known and so nicely done. And I'm going like, yeah, that's the guy who's sucking me into this. This is gonna be fun.
Well, I think it's really good to, branch out sometimes. And I'm going to. I brought back some of that DAS model clay stuff for a base, and I bought a little box frame that was on special. So I know you're stepping kind of out of your comfort zone by doing an aeroplane that you haven't done for a long time. And I just thought it's not fair if I don't step out of my comfort zone. Now, I'm not going to be sort of carving big revetments and walls and figures and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, come on, let's go.
But I just thought, baby steps. Let's go for a little base first. And as I was going down Hobbycraft looking for this modeling clay stuff, I thought, well, what am I going to put on it? I'm surrounded by actual real desert here. So I thought, well, I might get some desert from my desert.
That would be appropriate.
Which would be quite cool. Yeah.
Speaking of diorama ideas, I almost, and I'll probably keep this in the back of my head for another time. I almost kind of cheated on this whole thing because I found this really nice photograph of, it's a Spitfire that's crashed or been blown up on the runway or whatever, it's happened and it's destroyed. So it's only the tail section, and this wrecker has come up and attached to it, and so it's pulling it up as they're going to start moving back for recovery, taking it off the field. Now, see, that way I don't really have to build the airplane. I'd have to build this one section, and if I bung it up, it's going to be no problem because it's just damage.
Yeah. You don't have to worry so much about all the seams. Is that I suppose is that the aviation equivalent of sticking a load of mud all over your tank?
Yeah, it's kind of like
Hide
that.
a multitude of sins.
Yeah. Or just putting some black ashes around and a couple of pieces of sticks hanging out. Oh, that's the airframe, and here's where it burnt up.
There is actually in this book some wrecked airplanes. I'll see if I can send you some pictures from it. Well, there you go. There's an upside down one, so you don't have to worry so much about the cockpit detail.
That's good.
With a figure, no less. There you are.
Yeah.
With the wheels sticking up in the air. So that's an idea. But there was one that I thought was quite cool, if I can find it, where it bellied in on the beach and the water was lapping up around it. And it was a colour photo as well. That'd be
pretty fun as well.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So if you not necessarily a revetment, but
that's really neat.
Yeah, and I think that was sausage side, as they say. I think that might have been in Sicily. And the pilot, yeah, it was. Claude Weaver, Oklahoma City. There you go. He was an American pilot as well.
Oh.
From Oklahoma.
And they were stationed in Malta, but he put it down there?
Yeah, so it was when they started to go on the offensive. I think they...
so that'd be like 43?
Yeah. 9th of September. So it might be 42. It's probably 42 because that's the earlier markings. So it's probably September 42. Said in the ensuing, here we go. Took off on a sortie over the south of Sicily in the company of 6 other Spitfires. In the ensuing action, he called a Bf-109 kill, but also reported damage to his aircraft. He knew he wouldn't make it back. He tried to get as close to as Malta as possible, but didn't want to ditch in the sea. So he decided to crash land on Sicily.
And with that, my friends, this brings us towards the end of episode number 1 of our buddy build. I'd like to thank Jamie for initiating all this and getting me started. And as you can tell, well, I've decided to go ahead and work on Claude Weaver's aircraft here, crash landed into the sea, the beach side of Sicily. So we'll put together an aircraft, we'll put together a small scene. Here's a few pictures of Claude himself. I hope you enjoyed this little introduction to this, what's going to be a really fun build. My kit has arrived, as you can see right here. So I'm about ready to get started on that. As mentioned in the video, Jamie's already got a start on this, but I'll catch up, not to worry. So in the next episodes, you'll see more of my work, Jamie's work, our combined works, and I hope you enjoy it. In the meantime, if you like this channel, please hit those like and subscribes. If you'd like to see more videos and things that I don't show on the channel here, just hit that Patreon. There's a link in the description below. I'll also have some descriptions and links to Jamie's channels as well. Until the next time, everybody, take care and happy modeling.